Okay. So, Boker Tov. It's great to see everybody. We do not have any special new greetings to learn this week. We're in a regular time now. We'll have a regular old Shabbat Shalom, but fortunately, we are we're all rejoicing because the 20 living hostages that were remaining are now back home, back in Israel. So let's begin with a prayer for the state of Israel. So just make sure you're muted. And we'll begin with the prayer for the state of Israel. You'll find it in the Torah service. Just raise your hand if you don't know what page to find it on. And I'll give out page numbers. But if you can all find it on your own, Mazal Tov, Yasher Kochachen, good job. You're learning your way through the Siddur now, and that's the purpose of this class. Okay, here we go. Avinu Sheba Shamayim Tzur Yisrael Vegoalo Barech et Medinat Yisrael Reshit Tzmichat Geulatenu Hagen Aleha Be'evrat Chasdecha Ufaros Aleha Sukat Shalomecha Ushalach Orecha Va'amitecha Lerasheha Sareha Veyoatseha Vitakenem Be'etza Tova Milefanecha Chazek et Yedei Megine Eretz Kodshenu Vehanchilem Eloheinu Yeshua Va'ateret Nitzachon Te'aterem Venatata Shalom Ba'aretz V'simchat Olam Liyosheveha Venomar Amen. And we still are praying for peace because only one teeny little piece of that ceasefire agreement has been signed. Only one little bit. We've got the hostages back, but we don't have everything done yet. So we still pray for peace. Okay. Well, we celebrated Simchat Torah, and raise your hand if you were able to have an aliyah on Simchat Torah. Okay. And so, Vivian, I'm sorry, you're reading. You just put food in your mouth. I'm not going to ask you. Janice, I'll ask you because you don't have food in your mouth. How did you do? Were you able to?
Yeah. We don't have very many Kohens in my congregation, so I get called up frequently. So that's the one
okay.
thing I can do.
Yay. Anyone else? Vivian, when you're ready, you can unmute.
We had a big group, so
Yeah, so did we. I mean, the few Kohanim and then the few Leviim and then the rest of us. I was in a big group. So it does make it easier when you're in a big group. I don't know, they lifted up the card with the blessings on it, but I was too far back to actually be able to read it.
Me too.
So fun. It was fun. Um, last week I gave people a chance to practice. Is there anybody who did not read the brachot for the Torah reading last week who would like to do it today? Okay, then we're going to go on then. You should be if you were using your Siddur for the prayer for the state of Israel, you should be in the Torah service right now. And I think that if you turn just a couple of pages, we're going to go past announcing the new month, and then you should be at Ashrei in the Torah service. Okay? So we're in the Torah service, past the prayer for the state of Israel, past the prayer for the new month, and we're at Ashrei. All right. So we're going to start by reading aloud together the first 8 verses. Those are the 8 verses that we've already gone over in class. We're going to read them together, and then we're going to sing it, and then we're going to learn 4 new verses. Okay, and we'll do this next week also. 4 more, 4 more, 4 more. And it'll take us about 4 weeks to get through the rest of Ashrei. But if there is another prayer that you would like to stick in there, we can do that. So just send me an email if there's another prayer that in the middle of all this Ashrei, you would like to just take a little bit of a detour for a while. Okay. Ashrei is a good prayer to keep practicing because it can be a tongue twister. There are a lot of multi-syllabic words in this prayer. So here we go. We're going to read the first 8 verses and then we'll sing them together. So just make sure that you're muted. There. Okay, here we go. Ashrei Yoshevei. Hold on. One more. Okay, there we go. Let's try it again. Ashrei Yoshevei Veitecha Od Yehalelucha Selah. Ashrei Ha'am Shekachalo. Ashrei Ha'am She'adonai Elohav. Tehillah LeDavid. Aromimcha Elohai HaMelech Va'avarecha Shimcha Le'olam Va'ed Bechol Yom Avarechecha Va'ahalela Shimcha Le'olam Va'ed. Gadol Adonai Umehulal Me'od Veligdulato Ein Cheker. Dor Lidor Yishabach Ma'asecha Ugevurotecha Yagidu. Hadar Kevod Hodecha Vedivrei Nifleotecha Asicha ve'ezuz noraotecha yomeru ugedulatecha asaparena. Okay, before we sing, any questions? Okay, here we go. Hold on. Okay. Ashrei yoshvei vetecha od yehalelucha selah. Ashrei ha'am shekachalo. Ashrei ha'am she'Adonai Elohav. Tehillah leDavid. Aromimecha Elohai HaMelech. Va'avarecha Shimcha Le'olam Va'ed. Bechol Yom Avarechecha Va'ahalela Shimcha Le'olam Va'ed. Gadol Adonai Umehulal. Mehulal Me'od. Veligdulato Ein Cheker. Dor ledor Yeshabach Ma'asecha Ugevurotecha Yagidu. Hadar Kevod Hodecha Vedivrei Nifleotecha Asicha. Ve'ezuz noreotecha yomeru ugedulatecha asaperena. Now remember that I told you last time or 2 times ago that when you sing it, some of those little syllables are going to get swallowed up in the music. So a word like noreotecha is going to come out sounding more like noretecha. You're going to miss a couple syllables. They get swallowed in there. The same happens in English when we're singing. Okay, we're going to move to verses 9 through 12 now. And we're going to start by just reading them together slowly. While we're reading these 4 verses, look for words that seem to be familiar to you. You're going to see Adonai. That's a familiar word. But look for words where you might be recognizing a root that is familiar. Okay, as we go. So here we go. We're going to go slowly. This is the verse that begins with the letter Zion. Zecher Rav Tuvecha Yabiu Vetzid Katecha Yeranenu Chanun Verachum Adonai Erech Apayim Ugedol Chased. Tov Adonai Lakol Verachamav Al Kol ma'asav. Yoducha Adonai kol ma'asecha v'chasidecha yivarechucha. Okay, we're halfway through Ashrei. All right. Any words there that you thought were familiar? You can go ahead and mute and kind of call it out. Unmute. I mean.
Tove is the easiest one.
Tove was easy because it's right there, spelled exactly the way we hear it. And we use the word Tove all the time. We've been using it for the past 4 weeks constantly when we were wishing everybody Chag Sameach and good Yom Tov, good holiday.
The one word, where did we end? That last word that we had to say, or next to last word, that's a mouthful to put together.
Yeah, both of them are. So let's look at the very last word of line 12, the line that begins with the letter Yud. Okay, so let's take a look at the last word there because there is probably a word, there's a root word in there that you are going to recognize. Look at the second letter in the last word. It's the letter bet or vet because it doesn't have an ikud in it. It doesn't have a dot in it. Okay, so we have bet, resh, chaf.
It's
Bet,
bracha,
bracha, baruch,
right?
baruch. So we've got that word blessing in there. Okay, or bless with a bunch of prefixes, a prefix and some suffixes. So it makes it harder to read. But if we hunt, we know we've got something's gonna have a baruch in it. Okay, so let's divide it by syllable. We have the first syllable y,
Uh,
the second
va,
syllable va.
va,
Okay, and our resh has a vowel that's pronounced r,
yavara,
u, chu, and then cha.
kucha,
Okay, got it? So we have yivarechucha.
yavaru, yavarechucha.
Yavarechucha.
Cha.
The sound under the resh, is it or
It's a schwa sound. It's an it's in Hebrew it says it's shva, but in English we have that schwa also. It's when you see it in a dictionary, it's an upside down e, and it gives that little sound. Um, Sometimes it's accented and sometimes it's not. So you see at the beginning of the word, they made the shvav bold under the yud and the resh, so we give it a little bit of a sound. But if you look at, let me find a word that has, okay, so look at the first word, look at ashrei, and you see under the shin, there's also a shva, but it's just a regular size. They didn't make it bigger or bolder. And so that's the second sound in that first syllable. So ashrei is pronounced ashray.
okay? So if we're saying this, it's yavarechucha.
Correct.
Okay,
Okay. Now I'm going to tell you that when you sing it, it's going to sound like Yavar Chukha. And it's not, you're going to lose that little bit of a syllable when you're singing it. Okay, so let's look at the word right before it, which is also a lot of syllables. Okay, and here there's also a word here. Chet, Samach, Dalid, Chesed. Chesed.
Ah,
so it's beha
D,
seducha.
Va, Ha, Va, Ha,
ah,
Si,
see,
De,
it,
Cha.
uh,
Notice,
V'hasidecha.
correct. Now look at that dalid because they're giving you a little hint in that word too. Look under the dalid, you see the segol, you see the three dots, which give you the sound eh. And right next to those three dots, there's a little straight line, and that straight line is an accent mark. So
So
where,
it's V'hasidecha.
right, they're telling you that's where
You want
that's
to emphasize the de.
where the, yeah, that's where the emphasis in that word's going to go. B'chasidecha, b'chasidecha. And in the following word, I don't see yeah, there is. See the letter chaf in Yevarechucha. You see the little line under the
Mhm.
chaf, the first chaf, chaf. That's telling you where to put the accent. Yevarechucha.
Yivarechucha.
Mhm.
So that's almost where you break the syllable and
Oh, sure. It's the first syllable. It's the first, it's the beginning of a syllable. Yeah.
okay.
Any other questions? We have a bunch of yuds in here that are just they're silent. So if you look at the word we just looked at, v'chasidecha, we have two yuds in that word that are silent. And then in the word right before, kol ma'asecha, that yod is silent also at the end. If you look up one line, right after the in the word the line that begins with Tov Adonai Lakol, right after the comma, Varachamav, that yud is silent. Sylvia.
I have a question. What line are you working? I've gotten lost.
Okay, we were on line 12 and line 11, if you've got them numbered. Otherwise, it's the one, we were looking at line that begins with the word tov, and we were looking at the word, especially looking at the words in line 12, which begins with yod,
Yom. Okay, Yom.
yoducha.
Okay, thank you. Okay,
Mhm.
okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, we're going to read lines 9 through 12 again.
Good.
Slowly we'll read them, and then we'll sing them together. So make sure that you're muted again, and we will begin reading together. Okay, here we go. So we're beginning with the line that begins with the letter Zion. Zecher Rav Tuvecha Yabiu Vetzid Katecha Yeranenu Chanun Verachum Adonai Erech Apayim Ugedol Chased Tov Adonai Lakol Verachamav Al Kol Ma'asav Yoducha Adonai Kol Ma'asecha V'chasidecha Yevarechucha. So take a look at line 9, the line that begins with Zecher. Zecher Rav Tuvcha Yabiu. And you've got this word tov in there also, where it says tuvecha. It's the same vowel, tet, vav, bet, tov. Okay, and then look at the word right after the comma in that line. And if you look carefully, you're going to see Tzadi, Dalid, Kuf, Tzedek, Tzedakah. Same word, same. Okay? You're going to see, you're going to get used to doing it. Vivian? Unmute.
Zecher Rav Tuvcha, the last letter. What is, it's frequently at the end of words, and what does that mean?
His.
Is,
Mhm. So when you see that cha at the end, it's his. They're referring to God here.
is,
Your goodness. It's your. It's your. Cha. Your. Pronoun. That's where you're going to find the pronouns.
Can you say that word again, please?
Tuvacha. That one. Which one?
The one with tzedakah in it.
Oh yes. Vetsid katecha.
Betzidkatecha. Okay.
Seed katecha.
Betzidkatecha.
Notice the shva under the dalet is different from the shva under the taf.
Techa. Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead, Vivian.
would you say that word again?
Vetsid katecha. Vetsid katecha.
I want to say it more like tzedakah, and that's what's throwing me off. You have to stop
Sorry.
at the dalid first and then go to the next vowel, the next syllable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Betzidkatecha. Betzidka. Woo.
But you did it right several times there.
Little onomatopoeia there.
Yeah,
It's a mouthful.
it is. It's a tongue twisting psalm. You should know that when the children in Israel are preparing for their B'nai Mitzvah, they have difficulty reading this, doing this also because this is biblical Hebrew and it's not modern conversational Hebrew. So when the kids are preparing, they can read it, but they get twisted up too.
Well, that makes me feel a little better.
Well, I just remember when my nephews were preparing, and my sister used to, in her synagogue in Israel, she used to help train bar mitzvah kids. So um, they still have to learn the trope, the same as everybody else. It's not part of their daily conversation. All right, let's sing the verses 9 through 12. Okay? Here we go. So make sure you're all muted. And we'll sing it together. Zecher Rav Tuvecha Yabiu Vetsid Katecha Yeranenu Chanun Verachum Adonai Erech Apayim Ugedol Chased Tov Adonai Lakol Verachamav Al Kol Ma'asav. Yoducha Adonai kol ma'asecha v'chasidecha yivarechucha. Is it easier to sing than to read? Sometimes.
I couldn't keep up with the first two
Oh, sorry.
lines. No, yeah, I don't know why, but the last two, I think I've heard it enough at shul that, I could do it, but those first two were a little harder.
We're going to be coming up to a verse next week um, that should be really hard for everybody to say, to learn, but it won't be because you sing it in another part of the service. And we'll see if anybody recognizes which line that is that's familiar, even though the melody we'll use will be an Ashrei melody and not the melody you're used to hearing that particular line. But what I found when I was working with bar mitzvah students, b'nai mitzvah students, was that all of them, they may have had difficulty with every other verse in Ashrei. All of them would sing that verse with no problem at all. So you will too. You'll see there's an easy verse coming up, even though
Is
it
that
looks.
line 15?
Is it line 15? Let me look. It is. Cindy figured it out already. Okay. Any questions now? We're halfway through Ashrei. So oh yes, Kathy.
What does the word coal mean? Because
All,
you have like the coal, the coal, and all of that.
all.
All. I thought it was all, but I wasn't positive that you were. Okay.
If you look at the translation, okay, so that was on line where I see Cole on line 11. So go to line 11,
Mhm.
go to the translation or the interpretation of that, and let's see what it says. Tov Adonai Lakol. That's the first phrase up to the first comma, and it's God is good to all. Well, you already knew the word Tov, right? You all knew that word was good, and you already know Adonai, and so Lakol, to all. And what did they say? Adonai is good to all. V'rachamav al kol ma'asav. Okay, now they didn't write the word God, the word Adonai isn't written again in the second part of it, but I think our interpreter here was trying to remind us that even though we're at the second phrase, it's still God. So God's mercy, v'rachamav, and his mercy, al kol ma'asav, and God's mercy embraces all of creation. And his mercy is on everybody, all of kol ha'ma'asav, all of creation, all of people.
At some time in the future, would you be able to like break out and teach the suffixes? As I
Yes.
don't really know them, and it's a lot of them. The
So
the
let's do one right now, okay? Because I'm making a note to myself. We're gonna look at prefixes, some that show up all the time.
yeah, that's what I meant. The prefixes, not the
Yeah.
suffixes.
Well, we want them both because like we've got let's take a look at line 11 again. We've got two words that have suffixes that don't feel familiar. Av, berachamav, kol ma'asav, they don't feel familiar. They're not, I'm not hearing them a lot when I hear somebody speaking Hebrew. So we're going to take a look at those also, but let's take a look at prefix right now. So we're lines 1 through 12. And what we're going to be looking for is the prefix that means and. So let's go to line 3, which is right after Tehillah David, and it's the one that begins with Aromimecha. Okay? And if you look right after the comma, you're going to see that the word begins with va. It doesn't matter whether the vowel under it is a shva, as an ah, or even the word, or even the sound u. When you see that vav that precedes a word, it means and. So let's find them. We've
What
got
line are we on?
for line 3, which is the one that begins with the letter aleph. Aromimecha.
Okay,
Okay, right after the comma, you see the word va avaracha. Avaracha. Okay, va means and. Let's go to the next line. Line 4 that begins with bet. B'chol yom avarachecha, and then right after the comma, you see another one. Va ahalala. Yeah, Susan.
What about Leolam Va'ed? Does that,
Ah,
is that also considered
well,
an
yeah.
and? Because
Well, it
the,
is technically, but that phrase, "Le'olam va'ed," means forever.
right, okay.
So you're going to that's a phrase you're just going to keep seeing over and over again. That should be a sight vocabulary word already. Le'olam va'ed, when you see le'olam va'ed. Le'olam also, if they don't even put the va'ed on it. But yes, that it is still a prefix that means and. So we do have le'olam va'ed. Well, what I think I described it a long time ago to bar mitzvah kids as to infinity and beyond. So there you have an and in there for the forever. Okay, so you're right. It does mean and, but I forgot because I was thinking of it just as that phrase le'olam va'ed. Okay, and you're going to find in line 5 that begins with gadol, go down to the comma. Well, actually, before you get to the comma, you'll see u mehulal. Gadol Adonai u mehulal.
no.
The u
Uh-oh.
is also and. You have a vav added to the beginning of a word, it's and. Oh, and then after the comma, ve ligdulato, and. Same thing in line 6. That begins with dor lador. After the comma, u gevurotecha, and. And the same in line 7. Hadar kavod hodecha, ve divrei niflotecha asicha. It's a continuation from that first phrase. Now line 8, they added it at the beginning of the phrase so they could get that letter vav in there. Ve'ezuz norotecha yomeru u gedulatecha. Can you find the word and in line 9, the one that begins with zecher?
Yeah. Vazid. That's the one that's so hard. Vazid katecha.
Okay, good.
It's not said right, but it's the right word.
Uh-huh. You did great, Cindy. Okay. And in line 10, how many can you find in line 10?
2.
Two.
2. Okay, what are the 2 words? What's one
Mm,
word?
Rachum.
Virachum. Okay. And what's the second word in that line? It's
Ug.
not right. It's not right after the comma this time.
Ug. Ug. Dal.
Mhm.
Said. Chesed.
Gadol.
Okay, so in that word ugadol, you see how the vowel under the dalet is either big or it may be a line with a dot under it. They're letting you know in that word and for that letter that the vowel is not pronounced ah, it's pronounced o.
Gadol. So the Gadol
Ugadol.
Chesed. And the vowel under, instead of it being Chesed, it's Chesed.
Yes. And it's accented. It's got a straight line next to it too. I am not a Hebrew grammarian. I cannot tell you why. I
But
have
you're
a
a great Hebrew teacher.
thank you. I have a friend who does have a degree in Hebrew grammar. So when I lived in Charlotte, I would call her if I had a question.
Okay, so talking about the vav, if
Mhm.
we see the or u, then that means and.
Mhm.
And with the vav, with the u, we're not pronouncing the v sound. We're pronouncing just u.
Correct. But that's only at the beginning of a word.
Yeah.
Only at the
Mhm.
beginning of the word. If the vav is in the middle of the word, different rules apply. It doesn't
Yeah.
mean and in the beginning of a word. It's only and when it's used as a prefix. Okay. So that was line 10 with Hanun. All right. Let's see how many there are in line 11.
One.
I see one also. What's the word?
Adonai.
V'rachaman.
No, no,
V'rachaman.
no. Look carefully at the last letter. It doesn't go below
V'rachamav.
Rachamav. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say, I'm going back on previous words, so I have to remind myself to make it a vav.
Yeah, yeah. And let me I'm gonna write that down so there. No, that's not what I want. Hold on.
Tov Adonai lecho rachamav al kal ma'asav. So
Mhm.
the there's actually, if you think about it, there's three vavs in that word, in that line.
Yes, but only one of them is a prefix that means and.
Right. Right. And
And
then the other vavs are va.
they're coming, yeah, they're the letter vav coming at the end of the word. And if that had extended down below the line, then it would be a nun sofit, and you would have pronounced it with but it's not. It's vav. Okay, we're on the very last line. And what's the word that has and?
Hasidecha.
Right. Yes, v'chasidecha. Okay. Any of the words that give you trouble while you're doing this at home, just stop and very slowly pronounce it. You will see where the syllables are. And generally, it's a letter with a vowel, a letter with a vowel, a letter with a vowel. Not always, like in the case of Ashrei, where it's a letter, vowel, and then another letter. Or in the case of Kol Ma'asav, where the syllable is a Shin Yud Vav, or Sin Yud Vav, Sav. Okay, but generally, when you're going through these words, V'chasidecha, Va, Cha, Si, De, Cha. And the yuds in that word are silent. Any other questions? Okay, then what we're going to do now is sing the first 12 verses. But before we do that all together, I'm wondering if there are any volunteers who could sing lines 1 or line 2. Line 1 or line 2? Okay, Laurie, you want to sing? Which line do you want to sing?
Well, I'll take the easy one.
Which one's the easy one?
Number 1.
Number 1? Okay,
Yeah.
anybody want to sing line 2 after Laurie sings line 1? The reason I said lines 1 or 2 is because, first of all, everybody hears the first 2 lines of Ashrei, whether you're doing it as a responsive prayer or the synagogue does it silently. The first 2 lines are always said aloud, so they're more familiar. And I don't know which of the verses is Yahalalucha is sometimes a hard word to pronounce. So, okay, Laura, you sing the first line. Good for you.
Okay. Ashrei yoshvei veitecha od yechalelucha selah.
Perfect.
Very good.
Anyone else want to try the first line? Just the first line. Who I saw a hand go up, but I couldn't tell. Vivian. All right. Go for it.
Ashvei yoshvei vetecha oji hallelujah selah.
All right. Perfect. I am sure more of you can do that. But okay. All right, we're going to sing it all together now. So make sure everybody's muted. Here we go. All the way half of Ashrei. Here we go. Ashrei yoshvei veitecha od yahalelucha selah. Ashrei ha'am shekacha lo. Ashrei ha'am she'Adonai Elohav. Tehillah LeDavid. Aromimcha Elohai HaMelech. Va'avarecha Shimcha Le'olam Va'ed. Bechol Yom Avarechecha. Va'ahalela Shimcha Le'olam Va'ed. Gadol Adonai Umehulal Me'od. Veligdulato Ein Cheker. Dor Ledor Yeshabach Ma'asecha. Ugevurotecha Yagidu. Hadar Kevod Hodecha. Vedivrei Niflaotecha Asicha. Ve'ezuz Nuratotecha Yomeru. Ugedulatecha Asaprena. Zecher Rav Tuvecha Yabiu. Vetzid Katecha Yiranenu. Chanun Verachum Adonai. Erech Apayim Ugadol Chased. Tov Adonai Lakol. Verachamav Al Kol Ma'asav. Yoducha Adonai Kol Ma'asecha. V'chasidecha Yevarechucha. next week we'll go over some other suffixes and prefixes. Because as you recognize them, it'll make it easier to read the words. And we'll do that one that's cha, because I know it makes the word unpronounceable. Okay, any questions? Okay, then let's end with Hatikva. And you can find it in your Siddur. In this Sim Shalom, it'll be on page 827. And in this Sim Shalom, it's on page 395. And in Lev Shalem, it's on page 448. And I'm going to stay seated so you can all still hear me. Kol od balevav penima nefesh Yehudi homia ulafate mizrach kadima ayin letzion Sophia Od lo avda tikvatenu hatikva bat shnot alpayim liot am chofshi be'artzenu eretz Zion v'Yerushalayim liot am chofshi be'artzenu eretz Zion v'Yerushalayim. So this week we wish all the people who are hunting for, who are searching for bodies to find them all. And we have a regular week. And Susan, I saw your hand went up.
My granddaughter's name is Sophia,
Uh-huh.
and I saw first paragraph is ended with Sophia. Is that the same Sophia? It's hers is with a tzadi.
What? Hers is spelled with a
With
tzadi?
a tzadi, yeah.
Uh,
She's named after her great-great-grandmother Sophia, but I is that eastward? Is that what that
yeah,
means?
yeah.
Wow.
You found her
I
name?
never-
Yeah.
Wow, okay. Thank you. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. Wow. That's nice to find your granddaughter's name there. All right. Everybody have a Shabbat Shalom. We should celebrate this Shabbat with joy also. Well, we do anyway, but especially this week. So everybody have a wonderful, wonderful week. I will see you next week. I will be in Baltimore next week, so I will be in a hotel room. Hopefully everything is going to work fine and I won't lose my signal. It's been working for the past 2 years, so it should work again. All right. Lori,
And
did
I
you
will-
want to say something?
I just want you to stay on when everybody goes off.
Oh, okay. I can stay on for like a minute.
Okay.
I have to get to a doctor appointment that was
Okay.
scheduled very last minute, and that was the only time he could get.
Okay, it'll only take a minute.
Okay, so
Shabbat shalom.
Bye, Shabbat shalom,
everybody.
everyone.
Bye-bye.